during that period, before they knocked me down, when I was a sergeant, I was the Alpha Company, Second LAR's, what was it called? UTC, Unit Training Coordinator.
Mm.
And all that means is I'm the guy that you talk to when it's time to sign up for TRS and get you out of the Marine Corps, whether that's, just normal discharge or things like BCP for, the Husky Marines or vaccine refusal
So
or
TRS
anything
is
like
like
that.
the transition to being a civilian type deal.
Right, for the
Okay.
Marine Corps.
Yeah.
That's what we called it. And that leaves something to be desired. That's a whole nother conversation.
Mm.
But there's processes for these sort of things. Like for BCP, it was kind of like a three strikes you're out, really a two strikes you're out type deal. But they're getting guys on one strike. You know
Yeah.
Mm.
that and you and I know that there's we could talk about height and weight standards all day long,
Oh
but
yeah,
there
with
are
the chain of
individuals that
command
have.
and yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
And that goes
definitely.
back and forth. Not to say that there shouldn't be any, or there
Mm.
shouldn't be consequences for when you let that slip. But there are individuals that might just need a little bit of extra help. I think it's more incumbent on us to give them that helping hand, especially if you're in a leadership position, rather than just forego the process altogether and
Mm.
separate this individual and potentially ruin
Well, I
their
have
life.
the
So I saw that
opposite
happen a lot.
story. Is our training room individual at the time was like super overweight, and he couldn't pass his APFT several times. He actually like gained weight, and he was already on the program, so he should have actually failed and been kicked out. But since he was one of the individuals that got vaccinated playing the game, and he was, I guess he had about, you know, at the time, he probably had like, 5, 6 months, after maybe a year after COVID hit, where he was already transitioning out. But ultimately, like during that period prior, like he should have been, kicked out. But since he was, on board, they just kept
Yeah.
him in and, oh, we'll just take care of this guy. But again, if somebody wasn't vaccinated, it would have been a completely opposite story.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Um, do what we want. The carrot and the stick method is
Yep.
exactly what that sounds like to me. Do what we want, we'll take care of you. But if not, good luck. Good
Mm-hmm.
luck.
Yep.
Well, I am getting a little ahead of myself. I joined the Marine Corps back in 2015. Yeah, I graduated high school in like 2012, so yeah, I waited a little bit. I saw no combat. I was a little too late for that. The last combat deployment LAR had was in 13, so I was
Mm-hmm.
2 years too late anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I joined up then, joined infantry, went LAR. Um, I am an 0313 LAV crewman by trade. Um, I was on that vehicle from driver to vehicle commander, every position you can hold on it, almost 8 years. I served as a vehicle commander, a gunner, a driver, at times scouts, my own mechanic sometimes when
Mm-hmm.
we needed to kind
Yeah. When
of
things went down.
stuff out.
Yeah.
Um, I served as a platoon sergeant for many years. And whenever there was a deployment or a position needed filled to make mission and go do something, my hand was always raised. I was constantly being pulled from one company or the other to go and fill a position to go and make mission. From third LAR in 29 Palms, where I got my start,
Mm-hmm.
and to second LAR, where my career met its untimely end in Camp Lejeune.
Yeah, and the
Um,
horrible thing is it's hard to replace experience. So even if you
Yep.
didn't go to combat or whatever, you still served, almost 8 years or right around 8 years. And, that's a lot of experience, especially with that vehicle. You're saying, you had to fix it or you had to run every, position within that vehicle. Like that's all experience, experience, experience. And so to just kick you out over something which was illegal for them to do in the first place, right? They just lost that 8 years of experience, and now they're going to get some brand new individual to come in and start filling your shoes, and they got to start from scratch. So